Hello, dear foodie friends, and welcome to Kitchen Chat. I'm your host, Margaret McSweeney, and I'm so excited you're joining me here in the beautiful Middleby Residential Showroom in the Merchandise Mart today, here with my favorite friend and co-host, Chef Jaime Laurita.
That's me.
Cooking up some great food, as always, and we are beyond honored. You are going to meet someone who really needs no introduction. He is a bourbon legend, Al Young, all the way up from Kentucky with Four Roses, and we are just so excited for you to be here today, Al, and share with us about the fabulous company, Four Roses, and why it is so special.
Well, you know, Margaret, we've been around for maybe 130 years as far as the trademark is concerned.
Wow.
And we've been making bourbon all that time. You know, we even made whiskey during Prohibition for medicinal purposes only. A lot of sick people in the country at that time.
I'm in love with your voice. I don't know, whatever
I know.
you would say, your voice is smooth as bourbon.
Well, thank
Yes.
you. But after Prohibition, we had a large following because of all those people, and it was the #1 selling bourbon in the country for many, many years.
Wow.
And then it changed hands, and the next set of hands turned it into a blended whiskey for a long period of time. And they were selling it in this country as blended whiskey while they were selling it overseas as bourbon. And then they went out of business, and we were purchased by the Kirin Brewing Company, which we'd had a business relationship with since 1971. And one of their mandates was to bring that bourbon back into the United States. So about 5 years ago, we got it into all 50 states. And that's why we're happy to be a part of your event today.
Yes, and I wish you could be here. Jaime, Chef Jaime, you have prepared so many great things, all featuring Four
Everything.
Roses Bourbon.
Everything's got bourbon in it.
Yes.
Margaret. I've even made a crepe layered cake layered with white chocolate and bourbon. I've got bourbon in my whipped cream. I've got bourbon in my meatballs. I've got bourbon in my chicken wings. I've got bourbon everywhere. You know, bourbon, it seems that there's been this, major resurgence in the last couple of years with bourbon. I've noticed a lot of bourbon events around Chicago especially. What do you think that is the reason? What's the reason for that?
Well, for a long time, the American public was kind of fickle. They fell in love with gin and vodka and wine and all that sort of thing, and they're all good beverages.
Right.
But they kind of kicked bourbon to the lower shelf. So now the younger drinkers are coming on, and that's influencing some of the middle drinkers. Those are not quite old yet.
Right.
Who are taking another look at it. And so there's more interest in the category, more attempts to use it in events.
Right.
People are becoming more educated about the product. They're also being more discriminating.
Margaret and I were at a big event recently where it was all women drinking bourbon.
Yes, and many of them will be at this event tonight as well, which is just so special. And I love this book, Jaime, that Al put together about Four Roses, and I haven't had a chance to read it yet, and thank you so much for this beautiful gift. What is the distinguishing factor, do you think, that really distinguishes Four Roses from any other bourbon company out there?
Well, we have a lot of versatility because we make 10 bourbons during the manufacturing season.
Wow.
And then after they've aged out, we can combine them to make different versions of Four Roses. And we owe that to 2 different grain mash bills and 5 different yeasts that produce all these different flavors and aromas. So 1 mash bill, 1 yeast makes 1 bourbon. So at the end of the aging process, which is usually between 6 and 8 years old, we can take a little bit of those spicy bourbons and those fruity bourbons, put them together and put it in that small batch that you've been using in your food tonight.
I'm a fan of the small batch, I gotta say. I'm a fan of the small batch. I was taking a little bit for the food and a little bit for myself.
Of course, Jaime.
I mean, it's the only way to do it.
Your quality control from the word go.
Exactly,
Yes.
Quality control.
Absolutely.
And palate testing, for
I
sure.
wanted to make sure, I knew it was good, but I wanted to make sure that it was perfect, and it was.
Yes.
What's the name Four Roses? Why Four Roses?
Yeah.
Well, our name came about as a result of our founder, Paul Jones, falling in love with the Southern Belle. This was back in the 1880s. And Paul sent her a proposal, and she said if she accepted, she'd wear a corsage of 4 red roses to the upcoming ball. So that night he shows up, there she is in her black dress with the corsage of 4 red roses. So we think he named his whiskey in honor of that event, and later transferred the passion he had for the beautiful belle and how he made his whiskey.
What a great story.
I love that. And especially being from the South, I love that story.
Yes.
The 4 Roses. That is so beautiful. Now, thank you for bringing this very special batch today that is not available everywhere, the small batch. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, we've come up with a new product. You know, for a long time all we had was 4 Roses 80 proof, 90 proof, and 100 proof. And we haven't had anything new in 12 years. So we came up through Brent Elliott, our master distiller, who is the genius behind this one. We came up with something that we call 4 Roses Smallback Select. And it has 6 bourbons in it.
Wow.
But they're all different from the standpoint that we're using our fruity yeast, our floral yeast, and our kind of minty yeast, along with the mash bills to make this product. And it's about 7 years old, and it's going to be at 104 proof.
Whoa.
And it's going to be non-chill filtered.
And what does that mean?
Well, that means that we didn't send it through the chiller to get all those fatty acids together to remove through a filter. We're just taking the whiskey as it came out of the barrel, combining them together, making sure that proof's the standard 107, putting it in the bottle, and putting it out there for those that don't want non-chill, that want it non-chill filtered, and want something a little bit different.
So I understand that this isn't even available in Illinois right now.
No, it's not, and I'm sorry for that. We're kind of teasing you with this right now, but it should be into the Chicago area, for example, in 2020, right around January, I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
So we're having a sneak peek, and I love too, Jamie, that it's going to all benefit and promote a wonderful charity
Yes.
tonight. Women in Need Growing Stronger. Please check out their website. It helps women and children fleeing from domestic violence get a second start in life, and so this will be to benefit the women of Wing. So thank you so much for your
You're welcome.
generosity with that. So can you give us a sneak peek of more that is on the menu, and we'll have separate pictures of the food for you.
I'm doing a special flatbread with hummus. Again, I was just trying to add bourbon to everything. I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna stink like bourbon tonight. But
It's not a bad smell,
it's
by
not
the
a
way.
bad
Oh,
smell.
good
No,
cologne.
it's not. But each course will have something unique, and you know me, I'll always change it as it comes out.
Yes.
So we'll follow up with some photographs of the food a little bit later, but it's gonna be, I hope you're hungry. I hope you came hungry.
Oh, yeah.
You did? You brought your appetite?
Yeah. No, but I got one when I got here.
Oh, okay, good. And we have some special entertainment tonight here, along with our bourbon. We have Pat McKillen here who's going to entertain. It's going to be a great event.
Absolutely. We'll make sure we send our listeners and viewers to Pat's website too, along with Four Roses.
And the star of the show is Four Roses tonight.
Yes,
I was gonna say, and you are the star
absolutely.
of this show.
Oh, my
Now, where is
goodness.
this book something that people can get a hold of online?
Well, they're out there. Some of it comes off online from the gift shop we have at our
Okay.
distillery and at Cox's Creek. And there might be still some running around at the bookstores.
Great.
But this thing has been so popular, as soon as it comes out, it goes.
Wow.
So we're headed into our 4th printing.
Wow. That's amazing.
So, yeah, it's been a very nice way to get the word out about Four
It's
Roses.
kind of like my pizzas running through Turbo Chef. Every time I take one out,
Right
it's gone.
behind us. I know. I know. Well, you know, I always like to get great tips from our guests. And I'm not, you know, I'm new to bourbon and tasting bourbon. What are 3 tips that you would like to share with a new bourbon drinker, and what to look for in the taste and everything?
Well, first of all, it's going to be a question of taste and aroma for you.
Okay.
So when you first get a bourbon, pour some in a glass.
Okay.
And keep your nose and mouth open when you bring it up, and take a good sniff of it before you ever think about tasting.
Oh.
Okay?
Okay.
Tip number 1. Number 2, when you do taste it, let it roll around on the tongue before you swallow it.
Okay.
And let some of those alternate flavors kind of work out on your tongue and in your mouth, okay? And third, if there is a third point, I would say that I like to have a bourbon that's smooth going down.
Yeah.
The last thing I want to do is have a bourbon that just burns all the way to your tongue.
Yes.
So if you can find one that meets that criteria, as I told you, and then make sure that the finish is long and smooth, I think you have a winner.
Oh, and Four Roses, it's always a winner.
Well, I can tell you guys, this has been a great day here in our Viking La Cornue showroom in the Merchandise Mart. We're so glad to have the legend, as Margaret's calling you. How does it feel being called a legend?
Yes.
You're still here.
Well, it's that's you touched on it right there, Jamie. It's great to be a legend if you're still above ground.
Right?
You know, I don't have a memorial yet built to me, and I'm waiting. I'm not waiting for it. I'm going to keep going as long as I can.
I think you got a ways to go.
Good.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much,
Well,
Al.
thank you, Margaret.
I appreciate it. And Jamie, thank you as always. And thank you, dear foodie friends. I'll make sure we have links to Four Roses Bourbon where you can get a taste of the South as well. And also make sure you visit Chef Jaime Laurita here in the beautiful Middleby Residential Showroom in the Merchandise Mart, and check out thevikinglife.com for inspiration in your kitchen, and visit me in my kitchen, kitchenchat.info. And always remember to take a moment and savor the day.